Well, welcome to Business with Purpose TV, otherwise known as BWP TV. And every episode, I keep repeating that so that I don't mess it up and so that people remember it. So, BWP TV, you're joining us. This is the show where we spotlight entrepreneurs, authors, and change makers building businesses that are aligned with purpose. And I'm Chuck Casto.
And I'm Sue Brooke, and we have been doing this for a while now, really in the past, and we're bringing it back under a different name. But BWPTV is actually part of something a lot bigger than just the BWPTV. It's the Business with Purpose movement. So I worked for Alignable for 5 years. Chuck worked for Alignable for 7 years, and I got together with Sherry, my friend, and we created a nonprofit called Business with Purpose. And our goal is just to help small business owners. That's what it is. It's like we really our mission is helping entrepreneurs grow through community, through education, and through personal development and meaningful relationships. So make sure everybody joins us on the Business with Purpose group on Alignable. So
Yes, yes. And Sue, so let's jump right in because today's guests have some incredible stories and insights to share. And I was saying this before the cameras went on that this is just a super group of people and that I've never been in a room with the three of them before. So I'm really excited about this show.
yeah, me too. So we're joined by three amazing people here, and they are entrepreneurs and they're authors in our new best-selling book, Built with Purpose. And so we have Jill Cohn. Welcome, Jill. And are you in Phoenix or Albuquerque?
Phoenix today.
You're in Phoenix today. She has a business in two different states, so I always have to say, "Where's Jill?" They used to say that to me when I was traveling, like, "Where's Waldo?" It was like, "Where are you today?" Everybody knew, but nobody knew where I was. And so Jill's kind of the same way recently. And Eric Bell up in Washington. Hi, Eric.
Hi.
And
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me.
yes, he's a part of our Business with Purpose team. And Linda Grace Farley from
Thank you,
yes, from the
thank
East
you,
Coast up next to Chuck, kind of, sort of. Okay,
thank
so
you for having me.
hey, yeah, we're excited. So let's these are the kind of conversations we love because we just want to hear some real stories, some lessons, and hopefully a few wow moments. And we've been hearing a lot of heartfelt things, stories happening in the last few episodes. So yeah, let's get started, Chuck.
We do want to warn everybody, sometimes these get a little emotional.
That's true.
So, I'm all for emotion. I'm all about emotion. And I think, so if anyone's feeling emotional watching this or telling your stories, don't worry about it. This is a great place for all of this to be revealed. So, Jill, I want to start with you. Jill and I have known each other for at least 6 years, 6 or 7 years. So great to see you. Um, and so talk to us a little bit about, who you are, just the short version, who you are, what you do, and what has inspired your journey.
And
Okay.
maybe a fun fact too. Let's do
Yeah,
a fun
fun
fact.
fact too. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Well, I'm Jill Cohn. I have two businesses with my husband, AZ Metals in Mesa, Arizona, and New Mexico Metals over in Albuquerque. We're a cut to size metal supplier, and we do custom fabrications in Mesa. And basically, I got into this business after a nursing career, which I can elaborate later. But fun fact, I'm related through genealogy to 3 U.S. presidents, and also to Johnny Depp, and to Carol Burnett, and to Bing Crosby.
Oh my God.
It's like all my mom's side.
Oh
That's
my
a
God.
that's a good one. Can
Yeah,
you tell us the three presidents? Because I think I'm
it's
related to
Grant
one
and
of
the
them.
2 Harrisons that were president. So
Wow, that's amazing. I love that kind of stuff. All right, Eric, same question. Quick introduction and fun fact. Let's hear it.
All right. So I'm Eric Bell. I'm the founder of My Effortless Marketing and Shift in AI. We are a full service digital marketing agency that focuses on systems, not services. So we'll talk more about what that means. But a fun fact about me is I'm in the book that is built with purpose from Semper Fi. For those of you that know what that means, I'm a U.S. Marine. My background started there in 1993 to date myself. And the fun fact is I started doing automation for the Marine Corps before there was a thing called automation. So there you
Wow,
have it.
that's cool. I didn't know that about you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Always something new, right?
No, I love it. I was trying to think the other day, I've done fun facts so many times, sort of all over the country every time I do one. And I'm like, what doesn't anybody not know about me now? Anyway, Linda Grace, you're next.
Okay, I am Linda Grace Farley, founder of Cycles of Life Management Services. What do I do? I'm a transformational mentor. I like to call myself. A fun fact, I'm going to go with Jill's lead. I'm actually related to Eleanor Roosevelt on my
Oh,
mother's side. So we never knew that until my uncle did go back before ancestry.com. You had to go and find this stuff out. And he came in one day and he told us, he says, "You're never going to believe this. We were related to Eleanor Roosevelt." So I was all giddy about it. I was like, "Oh, really?" He says, "Yeah, but we don't talk about that." Why don't we talk about something that impressive, right? But yeah, so that's who I am.
I love it. That's amazing. Wow, there's always something. I swear, every time I do this, somebody is connected somehow. Like, look, three of you are related to different people. I don't even know. I'll have to look and see who I am. I did find a sister that I didn't know existed on Ancestry, so I do have a little bit of a story. Okay, let's get started with this. So, Jill, all right, was there a defining moment when your business, actually, let's go backwards a little bit more. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got your business started? Because I know you have a really good story. I've heard it with you and her husband, and how you did all of that. Let's hear a little bit about that.
Well, I was a RN in my previous life for about 21 years, and I got out of nursing and I retired for a short time, stayed home with the kids, took them to all the practices, went nuts, had to get back to adults and to, people. I'm a people person, even though I am an introvert. I am now more extroverted, thanks to Sue and Chuck for getting me involved in all this alignable stuff over the years. But basically, my husband needed some help at the office, asked if I'd come in. I said, sure, started doing the paperwork and said, oh, this is beyond boring. I'd rather just sit at home. So he said, well, let's find somebody to do that. We did. She's still with us 15 years later. And I do all the marketing and the fun stuff for our business. So I get to interact and spend time on Alignable and all the other social media outlets, as well as, other marketing stuff that I do. But yeah, that's kind of what I do.
Awesome. So is there something that I know you wrote in our book, our new book, which we'll talk about. And so tell us just a little bit about how your business aligns with your purpose. How do you feel that your business aligns with your purpose?
Well, being an RN, you're got to be a compassionate person. I am a people person, even though, like I said, I was an introvert. I was still cared about people, and I always wanted to be around people and help people. And when I got out of the nursing and started the business, we, needed something a driving force, something to really, be in a new business. And I'm like, no, it's all about the people. If you make the people happy and you can do stuff for others, things will come back to you. And I'm telling you, we grew really fast where we could expand to another business. And I most of that, I, think just from meeting people and just, caring about them, and, they're not just a number. I know customers by name when they come in. It's more personal. And that's basically how we've grown the business. It's just I get to know you. They know, like, and trust us, same as Alignable. That's why I like Alignable so much, because it all kind of meshes together. And here we are. So
I love it. Awesome. Go ahead, Chuck. Who's next?
Well, I want to find out a little more about Eric's story, and I want to have a little cliffhanger if you can throw it in there, Eric, because I want everybody to go out and get this on Amazon. We're already a best-selling book, but let's keep the love going. Eric.
Yes. So my transformational thing was I was one of the first founders of a social media group called the Market Research Global Alliance. And I founded it back in 2005. Started out with just a little old me and then grew it to about 150,000 members globally. Fast forward to 2013, I sold it to the American Marketing Association. And we kind of, my wife and I tried to figure out what we were going to do next. And I got into the digital marketing space, which has always been a part of market research and just being a tech guy and systems and processes. And then we started a web design company, and then COVID hit. So that's the cliffhanger.
Mm,
Awesome.
okay.
So
So
do you
figure out
do
what
you
happened after COVID if you
do you want
read
me?
Eric's story.
Yeah, I can tell you more when you guys are ready. You just let
Yeah.
me know and I'll tell you more.
Yes, no, we want to hear more. Just to expand a little bit before we go to Linda Grace, talk about your purpose, like all of the stuff that you're doing now and in the past, like how does that connect with your purpose in your
Yeah, so my purpose is to help solopreneurs and local businesses with digital marketing. The biggest thing that I find out is there's a lot of fly by night marketing organizations out there, unfortunately, and they sell in silos. And what that means is think of it as building a house. If you're wanting to work directly with social media, but your website isn't quite ready to get leads for it, that's a wall that's kind of weak. If you're dealing with digital ad spend, but don't have a way to get that lead funneled in, that's another weak spot, and the roof will eventually collapse. So, what we do is we build out the foundations to digital marketing and really help local businesses in the long run so that they don't spend a ton of money trying to figure it out. So, we help them right from the start.
Awesome. Yeah, it's funny. I just had a client that I talked to the other day that just wanted to talk to me about her new business. And this broke my heart, you guys. Eric, especially, it's gonna break your heart too. She's paying somebody that told her she needed SEO. And her website it's terrible. It was terrible. Like if anybody went to the
Mm.
website, they'd have no clue what she did. It was all over the place. It wasn't even close to being ready for someone to come in and start driving traffic to it. So anyway, that's a whole story. We need to do a whole teaching on that. So thank you, Eric. You're helping a
Yeah,
lot of people. So
thank you. Yeah.
let's go to Linda Grace. Tell us a little bit about your business and how your purpose in your life came through on that.
Could you repeat the question?
Well, talk about your purpose in your life and how that correlates with your business.
Yeah. I think I was born into the purpose, to be honest with you. Lived in my father was all holistic and my mother was allopathic. So I got an opportunity to feel both sides. And growing up into that environment and then jumping into, and Eric and I've had conversations about this. So I was mainframes. I jumped into working at IBM doing hardware because I didn't want to feel the pain of others. So my whole objective initially was to get into the medical profession, be a psychologist, but I just couldn't turn off that pain. So I said, well, let me just jump into computers and I don't have to worry about it. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's
Me,
amazing.
with my colleagues, I would coach them over their education. One day somebody said to me, hey, Linda, you're really good at this. Have you ever thought about doing this? And I said, doing what? I'm just helping. And that kind of evolved. Now, my side gig I'm always fascinated with the unknown, the mystical, and such. And, doing remote viewing and all, I loved it. And I couldn't get enough of that. So now I've taken some classes and such and created Cycles of Life Management Service, this blend of things. It's not like a cookie cutter. Oh, I'm going to go to this person because this person is going to do something for me. No, it starts with a conversation, and we get a lot out of the conversation. And being a little bit on the intuitive side, if you recognize patterns, if you recognize wording and stuff like that, you can actually identify what the issue is. Now the task is that you help them to recognize that as well, rather than you saying, oh, you have this. I'm like, oh, tell me more about that. And before you know it, they're telling me things that they've never told anybody else. And they'll tell me that. I've never told anyone that, but I've managed to get to the past the gatekeeper in their brains, and they're able to tell me, and then we can work from there. And why I got into it, it's natural. It's not some, yeah, it's a natural thing, being authentic and helping people, especially part of what I have is end of life doula certification. So that is when people are on their way to their greatest journey, they're carrying all this baggage with them. Well, that's not going to make that transition easier. It's going to make it worse. And then, of course, you have the dynamics with the families, loved ones and such. So I'm here to help, them to find an easy transition, as well as help people midlife with their, they're at the crossroads. What do I do now? I see the people behind me coming up and they're going to take my jobs, or AI is going to be replacing me or something like that. So I help them to find clarity and being, bringing out the authenticity within themselves.
There's kind of a theme going along here. Go ahead, Chuck.
So I have a question for you, Linda. So have you found that
Sure.
more of your intuitive ability has grown in this, as you've accepted more and more of it, and you've seen how it can help you in this professional capacity?
Oh, absolutely. And I always call them downloads, Chuck. You understand that all of a sudden out of the blue, I'll get this download. It's a impulse, right? Oh, okay. What am I going to do with this? And then before you know it, things start rolling out. And I could keep, talking about that, but in the past 24 hours, something that manifested, I wasn't expecting it. And all I said was, okay, I'm hearing you. Lead me on. That's it. And we'll see where this is going to go.
That's
Well,
cool. We have kind of a theme of everybody wanting to help people. That's what I really am feeling. Like everybody's, their businesses were built because they want to help people, and that's pretty normal. So don't you think, Chuck?
and they're expanding more
Yes.
too, as they're doing that. And I mean, Jill coming out and saying, well, it's really about being a people person, right? And Linda, what you're doing is really being a people person. I mean, you're getting into all sorts of different things. And I'm not going to even get it. We'll talk about the remote viewing because I want to talk to you about that. But it's very interesting. And also Eric is sort of like the superhero of people trying to get digital marketing, and A, trying to figure out what it is, and B, how it can help them. And so there's a lot there where you're really listening. I mean, the way I categorize it is all three of you are really listening to your soul. Your soul is like, yeah, okay, of course I'm going to bring this to work. Oh, and I need to fix this, and I need to help here. And it's very soul directed, which is really nice. And that does not surprise me with this group at all.
Let's get into the book here a little bit, because this is
Yes.
so exciting. I mean, when we decided, I mean, this is my purpose, is getting people's stories, and I just love it. I just love having people tell their stories in their business. And we've had some amazing previous episodes here on BWP TV talking about how their stories and then how writing it in an actual book actually helped them in so many ways, because so many people say, book, what do you mean? I don't want to write in a book. What is that? I'm not going to write a book. That was me a long time ago. But let's talk about the book a little bit and what made you guys decide that you wanted to even be in this. So just a quick thing. This is Built with Purpose. There's 42 authors and each author wrote a chapter in the book. So let's go through. Let's start with Eric this time. And tell us what made you decide to get in this darn thing.
Well, of course,
This wonderful
you
thing, right?
and Sherry Sue are a big driving force for me because of all the wonderful work you guys are doing on Alignable, and just really wanting to share my story about how, fast forwarding to the cliffhanger, we started our business to help local retailers and businesses that had to rely on people coming in, that were no longer able to have people come into their stores, be able to get found online and be able to sell their products and goods. So the reason I think for the book is just kind of explaining that story on why we help solopreneurs and small businesses.
I want to ask you a little bit more. Is there anything, a specific story of a specific person that
Right.
really you just went, you know what, I got to help more of these people? Is there anybody that you could tell a story about them that you've helped that really changed their life?
Where there was an aha moment where you went, oh, that's what they really need.
Yeah. So this is going to sound funny, but there was actually a drilling company based out of Saudi Arabia that was trying to figure out during the COVID how to market to the gas industry this specific type of drilling tool. And we came out with a custom solution for them. I know this isn't a retail story, but this is a really interesting case study on using LinkedIn. And we actually helped them get found by this really small segment of oil drillers with the big oil companies. And we were able to help change their life by getting them in touch with the right people so they could find or fund this tool, and it changed their life, their bottom line, and all of that. So that was pretty cool. Another company that comes to mind is a fencing company, and I got a phone call from the founder saying, I'm booked 3 months out, which is basically their entire summer, and we couldn't have done it without you. Your systems and processes have helped us, and we're able to centralize everything. And it's because of your company that we're able to do this. So
Very cool. Let's talk to Jill. Jill, what made you decide to be in the book, and what was your experience like?
I would say you. You. I don't know how long ago it's been, but when you came to the very first Alignable meeting that I held for the Phoenix Metro thing, when it became the Phoenix Metro Alliance, I was very nervous. Like I said, I was very much an introvert, and you're just like handing me the mic and like, go ahead and talk. And I'm thinking, oh, my hands got cold, I'm shaking, and I'm thinking, but I heard you tell your stories and how you you found your family and your sister and everything, and it just meant so much that I wanted to be able to kind of tell my story and just, hey, this is how and people ask me all the time, how in the world did you become, go from a registered nurse to in the metal industry? And it's like, well,
I know, from here to here.
This is one way I can tell people exactly what had happened, how it happened, why it happened, and why I do what I do. But it really points to you. You are very admired by me. I think very highly of you. You're a great friend, and I just, this book was a really great way to another way for me to come out to talk more and not be so bottled up and not say so.
I love it. Thank you so much. Well, I feel the same way about you, and I do remember that. It was like, I'm like, what do you mean you're just start talking? You're like, oh. I remember that. Now you're like the queen of it. It was like no big deal. I love it. Linda, what about you? What made you decide to be in the book?
I'm not, I can't say that it was you, and I apologize for that, Sue, because
Oh, we didn't know each other.
you did try. It was a one-on-one with Fran, actually.
Oh, that's
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Fran, I could respect Fran because she's 11 years older than I, and hearing her story and then her hearing mine, it just got me past myself. All those, oh, I don't know, it's just going to be another waste of money and stuff like that, but not realizing. And then right after that, I got with you.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Yeah, but it was Fran
Yeah,
who showed me that you're never too old to do something.
100%. I believe that.
Yeah.
And she's showing that to everybody every day. I mean,
Yes,
that's,
indeed.
you know, she's no, it's been amazing. It has been. So let me ask this, and we're going off script a little bit here, but I'm getting some advice from the great beyond here. So Linda, let me ask you, what do you want to happen spiritually within people when they read your story?
I don't know if I really have a story per se,
In the book.
because sitting across from people, hearing their stories and such, I think I want them to embrace, that we need to have compassion because we're not walking in another's shoes. We need to
Right.
have the compassion and empathy and sit back and listen because there's a lot of different characters. I mean, there's different lives, there's different perceptions and experiences that people's had. But if we judge another, how far are we getting? Everybody wants to feel like they belong. They want to be accepted. They want, all of the above. They don't get it from their families, they don't get it from their environment. Let you be that person that they know they can come to, and it's there it is. It's like I say, it's ingrained in us all, and we just need to become aware of it. And then once we are, then all bets are off because there it is. And then you know your path, and you just keep continuing. And as more and more things happen along the way, it validates more and more that you're on the right path. Did that answer your question, Chuck?
It
Okay.
did. I thought that was a beautiful answer. It basically
Thank you.
was find empathy for people who you may not naturally have it for too. And I
Yeah.
mean that's one of the things that really I think, as a flexible business owner and just, even if there's somebody who you're like, oh boy, okay, that person's kind of rubbing me the wrong way, at least be open enough to be like, well, maybe I can help them because I have a totally different perspective. And
Well,
let's
here's
get
here's a
through
different
that.
perspective. And here's a different perspective, Chuck. As we travel down this spiritual path, if somebody is triggering you, it has nothing to do with them. It has everything to do with those unconscious files that are popping up. So when you recognize that, then you thank the messenger
Yes.
for bringing that to you so that, your soul wants to be free of all the garbage it's been carrying all this time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, let's get
Yeah.
back to some more stories from everybody here. What else do we want to ask them, Chuck?
Well, Jill, I just love to know, you've been working with your husband for quite some time, okay? And that is, you know, that can be even if you have a terrific marriage and you've got kids, and I do know about your granddaughter too because we follow on LinkedIn. Hard
I
to
know.
believe you're a grandma, please.
I,
That does not resonate with me. But anyway, no, but I'm thrilled that that's happened. And I have to tell you, you know, couples who work together, what's the secret, would you say? Or is it just that you guys are really good partners as well as being a good couple?
I think we are excellent partners to start with. And I think
Wow.
if we weren't, we could not do this because you gotta give and take. He does his part of the business. I do my part of the business. We sit in the same office. We have a divider, but he does his thing. I do mine. I'm very neat and organized, and he is not. So he's over on this side, way where people don't see. He I bring the people in and he services them. Together we handle the phone calls and talk to people and help, get them whatever they want. You were talking about people that, might be disgruntled or whatever. We do get people like that, obviously, and all walks of life. Just like in nursing, I would get somebody that was cranky and, but the empathy, really, I have a lot of empathy, and I'm like, don't be mad because they're cranky. Just maybe put yourself in their shoes. Why are they so upset? What can I do to help them? And so that's kind of how I do things when I'm with customers that are not exactly 100% happy with stuff. And 99% of the time they walk out smiling and they come back. So it's, just
Right. You
And
face the
tell,
challenge. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you might have them more for life then when they're like, oh, well, look at that. Okay, she did listen. I was heard.
yeah.
That's the other
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
across I mean, a lot of people, you just have to sit and listen. I mean, Linda, you were saying that, but you really need to sit and listen and also let your own spidey sense be like, okay, what do we think is really going on here so that you can help? Not that you're nosy, but just so that you can help.
I think we're soulmates too. My husband and I, we have a really long story, which I won't go into here because
So tell the short part of the story because it's a good story.
Oh, I'd love to hear
they
it.
have a great
really, really
story.
quick. All right. I dated my husband through high school and into college, and we just separated, went our own ways. I was ready to get married. He was not at that point. We had really bad communication. We were young, whatever. So we both went our own ways. I met someone, I got married. I had 3 children. He met someone, he got married 3 years later, had 2 children. Okay. I was widowed. He was widowed. My husband died of a brain tumor. His wife was killed in a car accident. We found each
Oh
other
my
on
God.
classmates.com and
Oh my God.
reunited, and we were only, gosh, I met his kids, he met mine. We got married about 4.5 months later. We've been married almost 18 years now. So that's why I got 5 grandkids now because we have lots of kids that are having children. But yeah, we just were meant to be together. I think we found each other, and when we separated, we did it on good terms, so it wasn't a bad, terrible thing, and I kind of kept dibs on where he was, and he did me throughout thing. But, we saw each other, we're married, and then all of a sudden he saw I was widowed, and I had known he was widowed because a friend of mine, I went to go visit in Florida when I was living, she came over and just told me what happened. And I was like, oh, that's horrible, but I hadn't talked to him in years, so I didn't really reach out, but I kind of knew what was going on. So when he connected with me back then, it was just meant to be, I think. So we cherish
Yes.
every day, every moment, and we get along great. So
Oh my gosh, I just love that. It's like I really believe that things happen exactly at the right time for the same reasons. Like you weren't ready at that, you weren't supposed to be together quite yet, and the universe, God, whatever you want to call it. So it went, well, we're just gonna wait a little bit until it's time. And I
We're going to call it the universe. I love
yeah,
that.
whatever you want to call it. But seriously, like, I just believe everything's calculated the way it's supposed to in whatever it is that you believe in. And I think I've heard so many stories like that. The people were together, then they lost track. I was watching something on, I don't know, TikTok probably, or whatever it was, and it was old. They were in their like 90s and they knew each other when they were little. They didn't meet back until they were like that age, but oh my God, they were so in love. It's so cute. Oh, I love that story.
Yeah,
And
and it
now
builds a heck of a business too. On
It does.
top of that, beyond all of this.
I know it's amazing. And Eric, you've been talking a lot about business. Let's like get rid of all the
Yeah.
business stuff here. Let's talk about your life. I know you have some kids, you have a wife,
Yeah,
you're
fill us
doing your
in,
thing. How
man.
does all that work? Tell us some
Yeah,
stories.
sure.
How does
So
it
I've
work with
got,
you?
oh, say that again.
Go ahead, go
Uh,
ahead.
I've got 4 kids. So my wife and I got together after our second marriages. I walked off an elevator, saw her for the first time, and I just knew she was going to be the one. I don't know how I knew, but I just knew. We each brought a daughter to our marriage. My daughter I adopted from China. So
Wow.
I've got that story. And then she brought a daughter. And then when we got married, we actually conceived our first son on our wedding night. And we were going to do in vitro the next week because the doctors thought I chances for me to have children were unlikely. And right out of the gate, we had a boy. And then right after that, uh, she's like, I'm not losing my pregnancy weight. And we found out we were pregnant again and had a second boy. So we have Jet and Striker. Jet is the oldest. He turns 16 on June 1st, and Striker turns 15 on July 18th. And my family is the reason why I do everything. I love them dearly. And the most important things in life are because of being able to give them the experiences that I didn't have when I was younger.
How did you come up with those names? I'm sorry. I think everybody's probably wondering the same thing. Those are very unique names.
I just liked them. Um, they really don't have anything to do with anything other than I thought they were cool names. And um, Stryker always gets his teachers always tell him that that's the coolest name ever. He was recognized for being an honor student, and the teacher in front of the entire school said the kid with the coolest name is Stryker Bell. And yeah, so there was that. And since they're so close in age in school, um, their friends called Jet Uncle Stryker. And it's just kind of a weird thing that they do, and it's funny.
How
So,
many
but
months apart are they? Or are they a year
oh,
apart?
they're about a year apart, almost
Okay.
exactly. Yeah, so they are Irish twins for
More or
sure.
less. Yeah, right. I
Yeah,
was going to ask about that. Hmm.
Oh,
yeah. So no
amazing.
more kids after that. That was enough, and
That was
that
amazing.
was a lot during the time when they were growing up. But it was fun.
So what I love about what you said is, earlier I said, what's your purpose? And you were talking about business, but this is your real purpose. This is the
Yes,
part of your purpose, right?
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
My family
Yep.
for sure.
Awesome.
And
So
again, think of what was meant to be. You were
Yeah,
directed toward your second wife. I mean, in a way
yep.
that is quite
Mind blowing.
striking,
Yeah,
if you don't mind me saying, and all of a sudden, you know, you guys have 2 kids right off the bat. I
yeah.
mean,
We started talking immediately about an obscure band that is both of our favorite. We connected over music. I'm a
wow.
big music fan. My hat is Linkin Park, which is another band that I like. But yeah, we connected over music and a lot of common interests, and it was life changing for me.
I love it. All right, let's get back to some business or books. What do you want to talk about, Chuck? What else do we want to know from these amazing
I'll
people?
tell you, I am, well, I think, I'd love to find out from Linda. Linda, why do you think somebody watching this now, and again, given everything we're talking about and the role the universe plays in different things, The right people are going to be seeing this at one time or another. There's no question of that. Linda, what would you say to somebody who says, you know what? It's great. They've got great stories. They're such interesting people. But you know what? No one wants to read about my entrepreneurial journey and my life's boring. What would you say to them?
That happens a lot. Yeah.
Oh, I tell them to look in the mirror for crying out loud, because when was the
Snap
last
out
time
of
that
it.
when was the last time you actually looked in the mirror? Because people, they're so conditioned. Oh, I don't know about this. Well, there's mantras you can do, affirmations. But one of the things that comes to mind, Chuck, there was a woman I was coaching one time, and I go through a process, and she only gave me 11 years. And I said to her, "How old are you?" And she goes, "Oh, I'm 44." And I said, "But you only can tell me 11 years of things that's happened." And I said, "Were you born? Did you make it through the birth canal? Did you go to school?" People don't realize that. Look at what you've accomplished just to get out of the diapers, right? And stuff of that nature. So people don't give themselves much credit, but what they've accomplished just by surviving in the environments that they have, they're superstars.
Right.
Everyone is a superstar. And you said about, what it's about us. We all came together for a reason. I mean,
Right.
obviously it was Sue's vision, but what drew us all in? We have a story to tell. People love stories, and
Right.
they will see part of themselves in the stories that we tell.
That's so huge. I love this question, Chuck. Thanks for asking.
And that's why we have this. That's exactly why I think everyone participated.
Oh yeah. And it's I hear all the time, trust me. And that was me too when I was in this mastermind group after I was getting ready to sell my business, and it was like, you got to write a book. I'm like, what are you talking about? Nobody cares about my story or my book. And a lot of things happened throughout my life that people would ask me to tell my story, and I'm like, why would anybody care about that? And then after I'd get done speaking or telling my story, I'd have people like in tears coming and telling me how much I inspired them. And I was so confused about that all the time. And so I love this question a lot, because we don't know who is going through something that we went through. So I know all of us here have had something in our lives that just thought it broke us, right? I've had several. I wrote about it in my book and in my chapters. But let's go around a little bit more. Let's ask the other ones, like what would you tell someone that says they don't have a story, or their story's not worth telling? Jill.
I mean, your personal journey that you're gonna tell other people, they, like you said, they might resonate with them in some way, and so that way, they can like understand things better, and help them want to tell others about them, help them release, everything that they're holding in, that they don't think, like you said, that anybody cares. So, if they could just hear you get brave enough to get out there and get away from being that introvert and go out and tell everybody, shout it out, hey, this happened to me, they might be able to relate to that. So
I agree. How about you, Eric? What would you tell someone that would say that?
Yeah, I would say their journey, it's about their journey, and that's important. And that their journey matters. So that's the big thing that I would resonate with people, is understanding where they come from and what made them who they are.
And I have to say this too. Sorry to jump in, Chuck, but I just had this conversation literally right before this we got on today. There was a girl, Therese, who was on a couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
Therese on, and I have to tell this because this is business. People here all have businesses, and this is so huge. I don't know how many of you have spoken to someone in the finance business, and they're like, they sell life insurance or this insurance or that finance thing, whatever. And until I heard Therese tell her story, her heartbreaking story, and how that became her purpose and got her into her financial business that she had. Never in my life, and I told her this today, we were both bawling our eyes out before this thing. I said, you know what? I've talked to hundreds and hundreds of finance people that would just try to tell me that I needed to hire them, that they needed to be my financial advisor, or they need to buy my insurance or whatever. And not one ever in all my 64 years of life, almost 64, did
Almost.
I I'm gonna sing that song anyway without being
Oh gosh, it's the Beatles song.
the Beatles song. Anyway, I'm gonna sing that on my day of my birthday. Anyway, no, let's go. Let me get back to I'm squirreling here. No, but not one of those people that I talked to I don't even remember their names, first of all, and I would never refer them, never. I mean, they would just come at me and try to sell me their stuff. But Therese, when she didn't say anything about her business and she told her story and how it became her purpose to help people so they didn't, I'm going to referring everyone to her. I am. I don't know if you guys heard that episode, but that's what I love about this question, Chuck, that we're talking about here is that story and that how that really your story helps sell what your business is. I don't know.
And the other thing that's common here,
Yeah,
people don't give themselves enough credit.
never. No,
They, especially small business owners.
exactly. I
So
haven't.
this is another way to do that too. You
Yeah,
know, the other people who you're writing with, you're writing partners actually in some of these books. You know, when you read their stories and you're meant to read their story and they're meant to read yours.
100%. Okay, I have to ask this question. Chuck, this is going to be a question we should ask everybody on every one of our things. I actually found this. I have my little journal thing here. Somebody said this to me, and so I'm going to ask you guys all this question. So it might be kind of deep for you to think about, but just think about this. I'll start with Linda and then we'll go around. If your life was a movie and people have been watching it up until this point, what would they be screaming at the screen, begging you to do next?
Whew.
That's a big question. I mean, that might not be something you can actually answer right now, but if like really I want everybody listening to this show to think about this. I'm going to read it one more time. And I think this is something we should all sit and really think about. If your life was a movie and people have been watching it all the way from that birth canal, like Linda was talking about, up until now, what would they be screaming at you in the screen right now to do next and begging you to do next?
Next is the word. Yeah.
What do you think, Chuck? I'm going to ask you that question.
Well, you know the answer to that, Sue.
What? Tell me. Tell us, Chuck, and then we'll let the other ones. If any
Well,
of
you know the
line.
well, okay. So, I mean, it is referenced in my 4-page chapter, and I do want to bring this up too. Jill, and I'm sorry they're making me like they're putting it all in my head here. I think I might have to move back. Anyway, Jill had mentioned bravery. Okay. And some of these stories showed a great deal of bravery because people talked about something they haven't talked about anywhere else. Okay. And that's what I did in this story, where I combined, you know, PR guy, marketing guy, whatever, and also psychic medium and doing all of that. And they've all been very intertwined throughout my life. And what they're yelling at me now is they're like, you know, you need to, sure, it's great. You're a great PR guy, marketing guy. Keep doing that if you need to, but you're here for the psychic counseling. That's what you've always been here for. And let's go, man. That's what they'd be saying. Well, that is what they're saying. Okay. So, and they've been reading the book for a long time. For the years, I'm not going to say how long they've been reading the book, but yeah, that's it.
I love it. Let's just go around and I realize the time has gotten away from us. I can't
It
even believe it.
has.
But let's go around and you can answer that question, or you can give everybody a big tip or lesson that you'd like to teach us all. We got into some deep stuff today. So Linda, what about you? What would you like to end with?
It's 2 words that come to mind: jump and fly. I got the visual. I'm on a summit and in front of me is this vast architecture, if you will, of nature's architecture. And all I have to, and I got the parachute on me or the parasail, and all I have to do is step off.
Oh my gosh. Who's the guy that did that? You gotta jump. And he talks about, oh my gosh, he has a TV show. I'll think of it. That's my favorite video I can watch over and over and over again is like, you know what? You gotta jump. You gotta jump. Even if you're gonna jump and your parachute's not gonna open right away and you're gonna take bumps and you're just gonna throw you out all over the place. But you know what? You're never gonna get where you want to go unless you actually jump. So I love that. I just love that
Yeah.
so much. Wow.
Jill, how
Okay.
about you? How about
Yeah.
you? Like, what do you think your anyone watching your
Don't
story?
stop. Keep going. You know, you got this far. You've got just do what you enjoy, your desire, your passion, run with it, and just let your purpose be known to everybody else. And, you know, just don't stop.
100%.
Eric?
What comes to my mind is sharing clarity and just helping with, I guess, helping people push forward because we all come through valleys and different paths in life. And sometimes clarity is the thing that we don't see. So clarity is kind of what my inner self is telling me right now. And that can also be applied to family and your purpose.
100%.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Has everybody seen the movie Lucy?
No. A recent
that
movie
on
or an
your-
old movie?
Put that on your to-do list.
What is it about? I'm gonna write it down.
It's about going beyond.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's intense. It's a great movie to watch.
Cool. And then I just looked it up. Steve Harvey. Look up Steve Harvey. You gotta jump. Go watch it after this. It's like my favorite little short video of him. It's super motivational and everything. So it's awesome. So we are at almost to the time here. I want to go around and have you guys just real quick tell everybody where to get a hold of you. And any last minute words of wisdom. I know you just gave us some really good words of wisdom, but let's go around and do that. Let's start with Eric this time.
All right. So words of wisdom, I would say is never give up. Always focus on the goal. You can reach me and connect with me at shiftin.ai. And you can actually do a video call or a voice call right from the website. And it will ring me and you'll actually get me.
Wow.
So, yeah, would love to have anybody that's listening to this reach out to me. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Super high tech, too. I'm like, wait, they're gonna do what? Okay, well, they'll watch it.
Amazing. Jill, go for it.
Basically, just don't hold it inside. Just let everybody know your story, because your story is just as important as anybody else's, and you know, you deserve to tell people about it. Whether they want to listen to you or not, that'll be up to them, but hopefully they'll definitely want to hear what you have to say. You can contact me. Alignable is the best. I'm on there all the time. I am on LinkedIn as well. Of course, I'm on all the social media, Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff. It's at AZ Metals or at New Mexico Metals, and our website's www.az-metals.com or newmexico-metals.com. So any way I can be reached all over the place. It's not hard.
Awesome. Yes, definitely. And you are also an ambassador in the Phoenix area, and you have we have like 5
tomorrow night. Anybody want to come, please? I have an event tomorrow night, 5 to 7. So
that's right. Awesome. All right, Linda, your last words of wisdom and how to get rid of hold of you you're the final one.
Okay.
You're the final contestant today. Yes.
Yeah. The words of wisdom is together we rise. I think that was Maya Angelou or something like that said that. If anyone wants to connect with me, it's cyclesoflifemanagementservices.com and book a discovery call.
I love it. And if anybody wants to, and you're talking about that, the words in my book that I just came out with last year, the 2 words I talk about are trust and believe. Trust in your heart and your purpose, and believe that it's going to happen, whatever it is that you want. So that's mine. Do you have a word of wisdom too, Chuck? You want to leave everybody with?
I think I'm coming back to empathy. Empathize with people. Well, a lot of us are empaths on this call, but beyond that, empathize with people. It'll just make everything better.
Awesome. And finally, we have a brand new thing we're launching with our publishing company where we do have other books that you can get in where you write a chapter, but what we're really, really excited about, we have a brand new thing that we're launching called the Business with Purpose Expert Books, where you get your own book and you're going to write as an expert. I just sent you the cover of what yours would look like. Eric, he's writing one. This is how fast you can be a published expert author, and you get your own book with your picture on it, and it's your book. In our expert series, it's going to be plastered everywhere. I'm not kidding. Jeff Anderson was the very first one to get in when we launched, like the second we launched. He bought in last week to do this. We're putting it on Amazon today. That is
Wow.
how fast.
Wow.
1 week we can get it on Amazon. Fran, actually, she's not here today live because she's getting his book on Amazon, mine too. I actually started working on it a week ago. Now we're getting it on Amazon, and we have a whole cool thing that will help you write your story, and you're an expert. So you get to promote your business in the book. It's your own book, which is the best business card you'll ever have in your entire life. So, and we're doing a special. If there's any new authors that get into and become an expert author, you get to be an author in the chapter of one of our other books for free. For free. So you get to be an author twice for one price. So reach out to me or go to businesswithpurpose.org and you'll click on the publishing and you can see all the cool stuff we got going on. So thanks for being here. Chuck, take us out.
Yes, thank you, everybody. And
Thank you.
Jeff Anderson's post is already my #1 hit on LinkedIn.
Wow.
So
Yeah, we promote
I
you.
mean, we're promoting the daylights out of all of this, and it's very exciting. So thank you for joining us, and join us at the same time next week.
Thanks,
Awesome.
Chuck.
Absolutely.
Thanks, you guys. Have a great day.
Excellent.
Thanks
Bye-bye.
for coming to watch.
Bye,
Thanks.
everyone.
Thank you.